Hello and welcome to the Watchin It podcast. On today's show, Robert says golf is life, Donnell takes a trip down memory lane, and on Silo, so there's just a voice down here, just a big booming voice down here.
The voice of God.
The voice of somebody. What they been doing down there for so long? I'm your host, Donnell. With me as always.
Who's maintaining
Robert.
that equipment down there?
Mm-hmm.
That speaker system.
So many questions. This episode, a lot. I think it had like 4 or 5 different points they could have stopped and rolled credits.
No, it was an hour long.
And then they just kept on going. Yeah, lots of character development.
We got one more episode left. They got a lot to cover in that final episode. A lot of stuff gonna go down.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna do a longer finale.
They'd have to.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
So we're talking about season 2, episode 9 of Silo, the safeguard.
The safeguard, which we got a little sprinkling of that early in the episode with our boy Kyle, but at the end, I don't know. He says he knows what the safeguard is. I'm like, what's the safeguard? What is the safeguard, Robert?
There's really kind of 3 major plots going on in this episode. I would say the lesser one, but by no means small, is Billings, Knox, Shirley, and Walk.
Yeah.
Kind of like making plans. It didn't really go anywhere. But they're like,
something's going on at the end there where they're pulling.
No, primed for the next episode for sure. Yeah. So basically, Billings is like, okay, I'm all in with you guys.
Yeah, Billings finally picks a side, which knew was going to happen. So we talked about this last week, but I just got to bring it up again. Like watching this, when Billings announced he's on the down deep side, like there's a part of me that has a little celebration, like, yeah, Billings joins the good guy. But then there's also that other part of me that knows that technically the down deepers and Billings included, because he's talking about it, and eventually other people they're gonna get everybody killed. I hate this duality of the situation, because I very much just mentally or mentality wise, I'm like, yeah, I hate that they're being lied to. I hate all this cloak and shadow stuff. They deserve the truth and all that stuff. But
yeah,
I know, like Jake said, but what happens if they go through with the rebellion and win? It's like they open the door and everybody storms out the vault, and we have a repeat of freaking Vault 7, or not Vault, Silo, not Fallout, even though there's more of it that makes me feel like it's Fallout in this episode. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, this weird duality, because like I said, when Billings was like, I'm in, I was just like, yeah, and then I was like, but also no.
And little do you know, Donnell, little do you know. But Knox goes and tells.
Yeah, he goes
Walk,
to Walk.
And unknowing that she has her camera and speakers turned on, and is like, hey, we've got the sheriff on our side. And
so it's weird. It makes sense, but also Knox kind of does bring it up by the conversation. Because I thought it was very weird at first when last episode when he's like, you're going to go back to your room and you're not going to leave again. And I was like, well, how's he going to get you information if she doesn't leave her room? And
I come to her, man.
Yeah, Knox does come to her, but then even in that thing is like Knox comes and tells her that they have a plan and that the sheriff is on their side, but he doesn't tell her what the plan is. And so then the mayor's all like, what's the plan? She's like, how should I know? You got me trapped in here. I'm like, yeah, as long as you only get the information that they decide to share with you in this room. And so if they only tell Knox things that, like I said, them finding out that the mayor is on their side, the sheriff is on the down deeper side, is a huge development that Bernard quickly spins.
Oh yeah, he has a department head meeting.
Yep, with all the sheriffs.
Yep,
and deputies.
Blames everything on Billings.
Yeah, says that one is they were breaking. I thought they were breaking into supply last episode because they needed bandages and stuff, and he says it was about gunpowder to blow open the vault.
No, they needed medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So one is he spins it where he makes the down deepers a lot more violent and a lot more dangerous than they really are, because he's like, yeah, they're getting gunpowder, and it's like, no, they're getting medicine and bandages.
Yeah.
And then also he makes Billings the leader. That Billings is the one who got this whole plan together. Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, he's really spinning this his favor. He also announces that they're not replacing the sheriff. Essentially, the sheriffs are basically just being pulled into like they're just going to be a part of judicial. In a
the
sense.
deputies,
yeah, the deputies, the leftover deputies are basically just a part of judicial. So he's just consolidating power in a sense. I'm just wondering because a little bit earlier, this is one of the other storylines, but Lucas asks where the mayor is, and he's like, "We don't know," but he says not to be disturbed or whatever. And I'm like, is he just spending all day sitting at his computer watching Walk? Is that what he does?
Right,
is he just like sitting there watching walk around in there just in case somebody comes in?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that is interesting. I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be him. So he can trust judicial, right? Yeah, he can trust judicial to watch her. So I'm like, yeah, why you got to be there, man?
I mean, what else has he got to do? Bernard.
I don't know. Lucas is on a lot Lucas is doing that I think Bernard would like to know about.
We get a short scene with Billings passing a note to Sims, and then he takes it to Camille.
So what I like is a few things. So yeah, that's their plan that Knox alluded to has something to do with Camille Sims.
Yeah.
And he says that he believes C's on their side, and I'm like, no. C is not on your side.
She's on her side.
She's on her side. And if whatever side gets her to where she wants to be, that's who she's backing. So and it does, like I said, it does play out where it seems like that is going to be the Down Deepers. But I'm just like, you guys have the wrong view if you think she's sympathetic of you or cares about, she wants to achieve her goal. And if her goal goes through Bernard or goes through some third party that comes into play, guess what? Down Deepers going to get screwed because Camille is, and we even see this because like I said, Sims goes to his wife. And basically, it was like, hey,
at least they're talking now.
Yeah, Billings gives Sims the picture of the contraband,
the book page,
and that gets them both on kind of that side. But yeah, Camille very quickly is like, hey, let's side with the Down Deepers, and then when they overthrow Bernard, somebody's going to be in charge, and might as well be you. Like she's just always playing for power. I love the character.
I tell you right now, it's not going to be either of them.
Oh no, I don't think so. But I just love Camille's how she's always Camille's always playing. She's steps ahead of everybody.
But then they have the leaders of the Down Deep. They have a meeting, and they're like, who could be the spy?
Yeah.
And I think Knox figures out that it's Walk.
Yeah, I think he does now, but I don't think he knew before he went and told her.
No, not until they were having that conversation, and then.
Because he brings up gunpowder, which I'm like, I don't think they have gunpowder. I think he's feeding.
Well, they had some gunpowder.
Oh yeah, they did yeah. True.
Because that's how they made the rocket.
Yeah.
But then he goes to Walk. Knox does, and says that he thinks Teddy's mom is the spy.
Yep.
I think Walk knows he's lying, that he really knows that she's the spy, and now he's feeding disinformation about gunpowder or something.
Because the other thing I was thinking is he testing Walk? I do agree. I think he knows Walk is a spy.
Yeah.
I think he's just but I guess he didn't threaten to punish Teddy's mom. Because I think it was I was wondering if he was testing Walk, where he says basically we're gonna make Teddy's mom take the fall for what you did. Are you really gonna sit here and let us do that?
Yeah.
But I guess he did say we can't punish her. So yeah, no, I do think he's feeding. I don't know if Walk knows that he's feeding her false information, but I think Knox 100% knows that Walk is the spy and is sending false information to screw with Bernard. Yeah. Which once again, I'm like, yeah, Down Deepers, and then in the background I'm like, but no, it's
they only knew the truth.
I feel like what may happen is that the Down Deepers are going to win, but Juliet will get back before they go out and stop them from getting everybody killed. That's the only because if Bernard and them win, things just go back to the status quo, which I don't think that show will continue on if that is what happened. But yeah, who knows? That's just my guess.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the second biggest storyline, which I think is, in my opinion, the Juliet story. The biggest story is the Kyle story, which we'll get to.
Yeah, Lucas, man.
Yeah. At least for this episode.
Yeah, for this episode. 100%.
So the episode starts out following in Silo 17. These kids who showed up in the last episode.
Yeah. I was scared for a moment. I was so scared, especially with this being the second last episode, because other shows have done this, and it's one of the most infuriating things to do, because it's I do want this information, but I was so scared that this whole episode was just going to be past episodes from their viewpoint. Other shows have done that. Other shows have done that on their second to last episode, because they just realized, hey, right before we wrap up everything and give you a big climax. Why don't we just take you back down memory lane from here? Oh, I was so scared. But they very quickly got through. We did see that they knew of Juliet from the get-go. We also saw that all those camera shots they did to make us feel like somebody was watching was because somebody was watching. But yeah, they're very suspicious of Juliet right off the bat.
Yeah.
Though I will say, like the three main kids we see, I know there's another young one and then a baby, so I think there's 5 total. But the 3 we see is the girl, her boyfriend, or
there's 5 total,
and then Eater. And I was like, and like I said, I guess they're kids and they've been raised in this world and they've been raised pretty much alone, so I can't fault them. But especially the main girl, the bow and arrow girl, is incredibly the dumbest person in this show.
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
I disagree.
So here's my thing.
Okay.
Let me just put it like this. This is why I think she's the dumbest person. I'm going to take it to the end first. You are in a scenario where you can't leave the silo.
Mm-hmm.
You're running out of food.
Mm-hmm.
You know there is food in a room that is locked that nobody has been able to get into at all. And you have captured the one person who can get you into that room. And your choices are A, I'm not saying this is good, but I'm just saying torture or bribe or whatever you got to do this person nonstop until they let you into this room, or maybe be nice. I'm just saying do whatever it is, however you want to go about it. Get the information out of this person, or get them to open the door, convince them, however. Or B, kill the person, dooming your whole family to die. And she's just like, we gotta kill him. We gotta kill him. I'm like, he is the only person with food. Even if you don't like the end result is they come to, have a come to Jesus moment. Everybody gets together at the end. Yeah. But I'm like, even if that's not the end result, even if they tortured him, I'm just like, he is your salvation. He is the only way you're getting any food. You're worried about your baby. You're worried about the other people.
Well, clearly they've got another food supply.
Well, yeah, but they were saying they were like, near the end.
I mean, Eater was were they? Because I felt like these people were not malnourished enough.
Maybe.
They needed to be like sticks and bones.
Yeah.
Like,
still, I'm just like, whatever the case, this guy is somehow, they still didn't tell us how he has food, because I really was hoping once we got in the vault, we would see some sort of conveyor. I don't know. But but still, like, this guy has
gonna be
so much more food than they have, and your thing is kill him. And I'm just like,
well, it's revenge.
Yeah, okay. You can get revenge. Like I said, even if you sweet talk him into opening the door, and then like I'm not saying you got to be a good person. You can be complete bastard about it, where you somehow convince him to open it because you're all going to be friends, and then you stab him in the back afterwards.
These are children, Donnell.
Even as a child, food. It's like, that's just basic human thing. Is I need food. He has food. Why would you kill him before you get food?
Revenge for the parents, man.
And then you all just starve to death and die?
I don't know. I felt like...
I'm sorry. It just, her constant drive to kill Solo before they got in the vault. I can understand revenge, but I'm like...
I mean, they've dubbed him literally the name The Killer.
True. So I agree. And if it was combat, if they were fighting on the stairs or something, yeah, you're going to fight with everything you got. But they've already captured him. They have him trapped in a room
What
alone.
I don't understand is why they hadn't been trying codes.
Yeah. I mean, their parent, because that's the thing. I thought Solo killed them outside the vault, but we find out they got in.
Yeah, so.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, we find out that these kids are there's one called the Eater, which we don't get the names of the other ones.
Well, no, Audrey and Rick.
Okay.
I remember them saying that.
So I guess they were all born way after this already happened. Even their parents were kids or babies when that happened. The one Eater says her mom was a baby when the rebellion happened. So so they're this has been about 50 years or so. So apparently the parents of Eater and Rick, because they had like the bracelet that they got off the one dead body that was Rick's parent, mom or dad or something. They had been trying to get into the vault.
Well, no. Not Eater's parents. The parents, so Rick and Audrey's parents were trying to get in the vault. Eater's parents
that's not okay.
What?
Rick and Audrey's parents?
Yeah.
Because Audrey's the girl with the baby, right?
Yeah.
He's the father.
Right.
Rick is the father.
Yes.
So they're brother and sister?
Well, no. So he even said Rick's mom was married to somebody else. Audrey's dad was married to somebody else, after their spouses died, they got together, which it is still a little weird to be with.
I mean, it's weird,
end of the world.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's only like 10 people.
Exactly. You ain't got many picking options, but so they're step siblings
Okay.
technically, but they weren't born.
I've watched enough Pornhub to know that's acceptable.
But yeah, no.
One of them got stuck in a dishwasher. I don't know,
But yeah, they were trying to get in, and Eater's parents. The reason why they were trying to get in is when Eater's parents died, they took her on, and that's why, because they blame Eater for both their parents dying, is because when they took her on, there was something like, well, we don't have enough food for everybody, and so they went to try to get in the vault. And
by the way, these people, the adults, are stupid because as soon as they break the code, they just go in.
Yeah,
I'm like, no. Once you break the code, you're like, okay, we got to make a plan.
And even we hear about how it went down.
Like,
you tell somebody else the code, and also we hear about how it went down. So this is jumping towards the end of the story, but still, after Juliet and Eater.
Well, we should go back to
let's.
It basically shows the flashback of them attacking and kidnapping Solo.
Yep.
Which the only thing I really have to say about that is there's no way that these kids could carry that man.
Yeah. And when they started getting, I was glad that at least they made it that both of them, because at first I thought they were just gonna have Rick pick him up and walk, and I was like, no, unless Rick's been hitting the gym and somehow hides all the muscle mass, just no. But yeah, no, they're like, they could get him up, but there's no way they're getting away fast enough. Before.
Dead weight. I mean,
just
he's not dead, but he's passed out.
He's passed out. It's completely dragging him. Like,
We also learned that they didn't mean to cut the air supply and the rope for Juliet when she was underwater.
But we do know, so that's was the other thing, and I want to talk about the convenient jug. But no, we do know that Audrey did try to kill Juliet. She's the reason. She cut the rope that dropped her into the water. And we find out that Rick was the one who put that jug that I was like, well, that was convenient.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I remember watching that episode and I was like, oh, that's so convenient that there just happens to be a jug
I wonder
there.
if we went back and watched that scene, if we would see him, because we know what to look for now. Yeah.
Or at least see that the jug wasn't in the water when she fell. Because, like I said, he doesn't throw it until after she's in the water. Because that's But it was just I was like, okay, I guess it wasn't as convenient. Rick saved her life.
But yeah, they basically are like, hey, we're gonna kill Solo.
Yep.
Or Juliet, you're gonna go get us the code after a brief scuffle.
Yep.
And they look around. She finds a suit.
Yep.
In a bag, like a real suit, outside suit. And then she also finds where the code is.
Yep.
What was the code?
Yeah.
Is because on the blackboard
that she erased some of
in the elementary school room, but she erased where the code was. Bad move. Bad move.
I mean,
accident. I mean, she didn't know.
You didn't know who? Yeah, just a bunch of numbers on a chalkboard. I just think this is from the last class or whatever.
Yeah. But she tries to guess the code and she gets it wrong.
I do like, though, while they're in that room, she talks with Eater, and this is when she finally figures out that how long ago the rebellion was. Because up until now, she's thinking, oh, Solo was the shadow, and he probably was.
Because he said he was the IT shadow.
Yeah, and he probably was, in there for maybe like a couple years, maybe max, and stuff. And as he finds out, like, it's been a couple decades.
Yeah.
And so
a couple of generations.
She starts connecting some dots.
Yep. Which was an awesome scene. Fantastic scene. The realization of like what's going on, and that happens in the books. Yeah, it's really good stuff in the books. Yeah. So she goes back to Solo.
Yep.
Who's like, laid up, ready, waiting to die.
Yep.
And then she, they have a moment where she's like, you were the son. It's okay.
Yep.
You were keeping the door closed like your father told you to. Yeah.
I was wondering because he kept bringing up until the very end when she points out why his dad wanted him to keep it closed, because every time she brought up like, but you did the right thing, you kept the vault closed. I was like, stop reminding him that was his objective, because that's just going to make him more and more not want to give you the code. But then when she at the end is like, your dad wasn't having you do it because he wanted you to protect the vault or the silo, he was doing it because he wanted to protect his son. And so like she kind of just brings it back to the family, and points out that Audrey and Rick have a baby and all that, and that gets Solo to finally come around.
Yeah, and let him into the vault. And I gotta tell you, man, like, it's one thing for like Julia Nichols to see all this stuff. It's another for these kids who have grown up in like the post-apocalyptic loneliness of the dark.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're led into this bright room with all these crazy artifacts. Ice drums, cream. Ice cream.
Man, can you imagine? Because like every once in a while, like I don't really drink soda, and that often and stuff. And so every once in a while, when I get a especially if it's been a while, when I get like a fresh can of Coke, that after like 6 months of not having any Coke, it like tastes amazing.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Oh, really?
Now, like, because I stopped drinking soda as like a regular thing.
Yeah.
27 years ago.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be a
27
change.
Years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now, if I drink a soda, I'm just like, God, what is this? What is this horrid stuff?
So then I guess the thing is,
syrupy,
I'm wondering,
over-sugared.
So here's my thing: is I'm wondering one of two things. Of either A, for these kids, is this like a life-altering moment of having ice cream after not eating it their entire lives, or is it more like you say, where they're having ice cream like, what is this over sweet?
No, because I didn't drink. I didn't. My first time I ever ate ice cream, I was 19.
Damn.
I did
basically
not,
like one of these.
It was just turned off in my head that ice cream was disgusting to me. The concept of ice cream was disgusting to me all the entire time I was growing up.
Really?
And it was not until I was 19 that I ate ice cream.
Damn.
It was a very magical experience.
Yeah. I just feel like these kids, like, that's just gonna like shut down your brain for a moment. You're just gonna be like, I don't even know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Like,
and those jars of ice cream that they had in this show were so big.
Big old thing. That's a lot of ice cream.
Yeah, like 5 people could share that.
And I feel like, let's be honest, like, you're probably gonna eat all that ice cream. And
they're going to get sick.
Yeah, but so your body's not used to it. Like,
they're going to die.
They are going to have, if they don't die, they're going to have some very, like, I really hope.
The bowel movements are not good.
I hope the vault has more than one toilet, is all I got to say. But yeah, so they're all led into the room where Solo has been staying, and he's showing off the vault. All the mind-blowing stuff that's in here, just scattered about, drums and all this stuff. And then we get a nice little scene with Solo and Juliet where they kind of joke about the spare suit, and then Solo kind of points out, it's like, why didn't you leave? And even though they don't directly say it, it's kind of like, oh, these two have bonded.
Yeah,
they're close now. They're like, oh, that's nice.
But that's where we drop their story.
That's where it is.
And let's let's finish with the big story, which is Kyle and the code.
Yes,
he's holed up in the vault in Silo 18.
I love how it starts with him meeting with Bernard, and as he starts telling Bernard stuff, Bernard's like, "Yeah, no, that's not it. I already knew that." Like, he's like, "Yeah, I think there's 50 volts," and Bernard's like, "Actually, technically 51." Yeah, and then he's just like, "That's not the secret." Like, if you and stuff, so he gets Kyle back to the drawing boards.
Yeah, I tell you now, season 3 and 4, which are confirmed, gonna be mostly Vault Zero.
Vault Zero.
A lot of Vault Zero.
I'm thinking Vault Zero is what we what we see at the end here, in my guess.
Well, we don't really see
the door, but yeah.
So yeah, he's breaking down the code.
Yep.
And he learns about the 50 volts. He learns about the tunnel at the bottom. And he learns about something called the safeguard.
Yes, the safeguard, which we don't know everything, but he apparently does.
He immediately goes to look for the mayor.
Yep.
And runs into Armand.
Yep, Armand.
Am I saying that right? Is that his name?
Something like that.
And then he's like, oh, the mayor's busy. I'm like, he's the IT shadow.
Yeah.
He's higher up on the totem pole than you are. I'm like, Kyle, Mr. Lucas, this is the time to use the blue badge.
Yeah. I mean, it's two things. One is, I think Kyle's still, one is he tried a little bit, but he's still not used to being the second most powerful man in the silo.
Yeah.
And then also, I think this still might have been because, like I said, even though he has more authority than Armand Armand is doing something at the behest of the mayor, who is
he's got higher orders.
Yeah, I feel like it's still he could have whipped out the blue badge, and Armand be like, "Dude, I see the badge.
The black badge told me not to.
Black badge told me."
By the way, none of this is in the books. This whole Kyle storyline that we're getting.
Yeah,
and in the books, he is locked in the vault.
I know.
I mean, locked in, and he cannot get out.
It's one of the things. Like, I mean, I get it for the storytelling and having them figure out stuff, but I will. Ever since you told me that, I will always admit that I'm slightly disappointed that Kyle, it'd be a completely different season, but I would love for it to be like after Bernard, like, makes Kyle the IT shadow and locks him in the vault, that we just kind of get like every episode get a 5-minute check-in of Kyle having his mind blown by something.
That's kind of the
way
it is in the books.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like. I will admit that, like, that's kind of what I was hoping for. We would just check in on Kyle and be like, what the hell's going on?
But he makes it down to the checkpoint. And gets through the checkpoint using his badge,
using the blue badge,
and then he's detained for a moment after the checkpoint by the Down Deepers, by the rebellion.
Yep.
And eventually he gets down.
He uses into Juliet's name,
the 3D, the down deep.
Yep.
Yeah, with Shirley.
Yep, Shirley. And I thought for a second, because he tells Shirley, he's like, "Hey, I think Juliet's alive, and I'll tell you how if you take me down there." And I thought he was about to start spilling the beans.
I know, he's such a liar. He doesn't tell her
he was about to
that
start
there's another
spilling
silo.
the beans about extra silos. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, I thought Shirley was just gonna push him off the side of the thing at that point. Like,
when he basically was like, "Well, I saw her a little bit longer than you saw her."
But eventually he does take the rope down, and I'm like, this scrawny.
Well, so here's the thing:
kid from IT, it cannot climb the rope down.
I believe, because a lot of with that is just, I mean, it might involve rope burn, but a lot of going down is just letting gravity do its work, and you just trying to slow yourself as much as possible. So I believe he could get down.
I don't think
but
so.
I'm
just
like,
that he could slow himself.
In next episode, if Kyle is back up, that's where I'm like, bullcrap. Because I'm like, just like you said, scrawny kid. Like a lot of, I didn't do it in high school, but a lot of high schools have you do rope climbing in gym, and it's one of the.
I never had to do rope climb.
It's one of the most and I've tried doing rope climbing like outside of that. Like one of the most impossible tasks just to with enough if you're training and stuff and you're a normal athlete, it's easy. But just for everyday Joe Schmoes, if you're not normally doing it, or I even talk about like when I was in Boy Scouts and we had our fitness test. And one of the things was like, do as many pull-ups as you possibly can. And so we hadn't done any before. And so all of us registered 0 pull-ups the first time. And we all, at the end of our workout, or end of our, I think it was like a month or whatever, we all managed to do one. Because these are things they're easy enough to do if you're regularly trying to do them. Climbing a rope is not a really difficult task to do overall if you're really doing it, but just to climb a rope when you haven't been practicing it is like, no way in hell. That's literally pulling all of your body weight up.
No, it's not. Because they got to teach you how to do the rope.
Well, yeah.
Because you got to wrap your feet around it, and then you use your feet as an anchor point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's, like I said, that's why after practicing it, learning the technique, and also having more strength. But when you just go to climb a rope, you don't think to do that sort of stuff. You're just like, I'm just going to pull myself up this rope, and you ain't.
I can see Juliet Nichols doing an up and down rope. I do not see Lucas Kyle doing a down or an up rope, for that matter. In my opinion, we can disagree.
I feel he could get down, but there's no way in hell. Like next episode,
I do love when he gets down and then he drops into the water.
Yeah,
and it's like 5 inches deep. And I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
We made like a whole season out of that.
Yeah.
How
scary it is and how deep down there. But nope, not that deep. And he finds the tunnel. He finds the tunnel. And I was literally thinking like, oh, he's just going to walk up and like poke at a door. No, a voice.
Yeah, as soon as he gets to like this.
Calls him by name, too.
Yeah, Lucas Kyle. Lights come on.
Lights come on.
Like it's an alien abduction. Like, yeah.
We find out from this voice that only 3 other people have been down here.
Before him.
Which one is Salvador Quinn. The other one that I'm not surprised by Salvador Quinn, and I'm also not surprised by the other one, George. Stuff. The one that, like I said, he keeps coming up. We're finding out more and more about Judge Meadows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she followed the code.
Yeah. We just how far, like, it's one of those things like, how much did Judge Meadows know that Bernard doesn't?
Yeah.
Because like she knew
enough
about the
for her to quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like as much as Bernard knows and as much as information is in the vault, finding out whatever this voice is about to say made her stop being IT Shadow. Yeah.
So that's the thing is like, she just was like, I mean, it's just keep the story going. They had to, but like, man, I wish he was still around because man, I just love, and I would love a scene like if he was still around for some reason, but Lucas was the Shadow, just a scene of Lucas coming to her and be like, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Judge Meadows and George, the voice says that it didn't talk to George, didn't say anything to George, just let him go. But he told Salvador Quinn and then Judge Meadows what he's about to tell Lucas, which we don't know, but if Lucas does go back up there and say any of it, they will do the safeguard protocol, whatever that is, which we still don't know.
I do.
Well, okay.
I know what the safeguard protocol is.
We, the normal watcher of the show, not the Mr. Book person. I will say, one thing is Shirley leaves him down there when he climbs down afterwards, and I'm like, I would not leave. I'd
go. I'd follow this guy.
Yeah, I'd either follow or I'd at least stay up there and see if he survived.
IT Shadow's on a mission. I'm going with him.
And my other thing is also like, I'm pretty sure if Shirley was there, she would hear this voice talking to Lucas, where when he comes back, he'd be like, I heard all of that.
No, that voice would have been like, kill her now.
True, yeah. The voice probably
doing the
the voice probably would be like, hey, everything I'm about to say, but also when you get back up there, you're gonna need to murder Shirley.
I mean, there's so many questions of like, so this tunnel is not in the books.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why would you build this into the situation?
Yeah. Well, so here's my thought.
Found.
I think this, like I said, the tunnel and
because anybody could find
as you've already said, I'm assuming this is going to be Silo Zero, what you're talking about. Is stuff, and I imagine they just So I want to ask you this because I already know.
Well, stuff. I don't know where the tunnel goes.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's going to be like you've already confirmed there's a Silo Zero, and my thought process, especially with them telling him to get away from the door and that they gave instructions out and they know his name. I'm like, well, these are probably the people who are running it, which is I'm assuming what Silo Zero is. Where is Silo Zero in the books?
I mean, it's with the other silos.
Yeah, is it connected to them in any way or?
No, not really.
So I'm wondering if they just changed things for like maybe for, I don't know, just the show they
I mean, in the show, they're definitely connected because I think that's where the power's coming from for IT. Right? But I mean, I guess IT could have its own generator. But like I said, the tunnel's not in the books.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. Yeah. But I don't feel like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that tunnel goes. I don't know if it goes to Silo Zero or if maybe it goes to like connects to another silo or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see.
All I know, like I said, I've said this so many times, but the more and more I watch, like I said, with this, you know, the not overseers, but the founders, whatever, the people who made this stuff, I'm just like, it just feels so much like this is just one of the experiments from a vault tech. More and more, I'm just like, yeah, they're watching. They knew Kyle Lucas's name because they're watching. Like, but yeah, great show. Really.
I mean, last episode I think was better. This episode was very informative.
Very informative.
And moved the plot
last
forward.
Episode was probably still the best. I'm hoping that it gets overtaken by this.
But yeah, with only one more episode to go, they've got a lot of ground to cover. I think they can do it.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a lot of stuff going on in that last episode.
Oh, man, where is it going to end? I just feel like when it ends, it's going to be just so frustrating.
You're going to be ready for season 3 and 4.
Exactly.
That's already confirmed.
I know, confirmed, but it's not like we know when they're coming.
I mean, they're already filming.
Yeah,
and they're going to film them back to back.
Yeah,
so that we're going to get that real fast once it starts coming.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like this episode and you like this show, you should check out our website, watchinitpod.com. You can also find links there to our social media and to email us, watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on Silo. Donnell, what else should they do?
Well, we've been talking about Silo, and Silo's a great show and all. But next week, we have the return.
The king of shows.
We have the return of Severance. And honestly, I can't think of anything else. We do have other things coming down the pipes, folks. But Severance. If you have not watched Severance Season 1,
you got to do it.
Go watch that.
There's nothing we can say that would do it justice.
No.
It is the best show ever made.
Hands down. hands down, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the fact that who is it? Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller. Like,
Ben Stiller.
I would never see this coming from Ben Stiller.
I mean, he's directing, but he didn't write it.
No, he did. I thought he directs some of it, but I'm pretty sure, or maybe he's just a producer on it or something.
Anyway, he's up in there making it happen.
He's a very big part of it. And the show is just fantastic, and we're going to be talking about it. It comes out next week, season 2. I've been waiting for this. Like I said, we got like best of coming still. We got the Oscars coming, but none of that even matters because Severance.
Yeah,
that's what you should do. Go watch Severance and get ready. If you haven't watched, and if you have watched it, watch it. I'm watching it again right now. I'm watching it again right now.
I mean, I tell you what I did in the first season. I'll probably do in the second season is I'd watch the first episode, then I'd watch the second episode, and then I'd watch the first episode and the second episode. Then I'd watch the first, second, and third episode.
Yes.
Then the first, second, third, and fourth episode, like every week. And then I got to the end and I watched it all at once.
Yes. And it's worth it.
It all just ties in together.
It is worth it. Do you think you'll do the same thing with the second season, and then when you get to the end of the second season, watch from the beginning all the way through?
There we go. There we go. I mean, I could do it.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Yeah. But yeah, so please go watch that show. We're going to be covering it. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, we'll be back right after this.
All right, Donnell, tell me about your memories.
Well, I mean, it's nothing too major. One is, as I already alluded to, I already started my rewatch of Severance. Only 2 episodes in.
Too early, Donnell. Too early.
It's a week away.
You do it the day before.
No, I'm not watching it all in one day. I take my time. I like to, take episode and digest it still, even though I've already seen it. I'm not going to do it the day before. But yeah, so I already started my rewatch of Severance. It's fantastic the second time around. Well, actually, this is my third time because I have watched it since. But
you got to get those numbers up.
I know. You probably watched like 27 times. But yeah, it's great. Enjoying it. And another thing, like I said, nothing too major, but I have a media server, and it's been offline for a while, and I spent some time getting it back up. And I got some shows on there. I got Justice League, the cartoon.
Yeah.
Watching that again.
You gotta do Young Justice, man. Yeah. That's a good rewatch.
Yep. That's in there. Because I'm in a little bit of a DC kick right now, like DC animated kick.
Dude, because of that. It's because of that Creature Commandos, man. That was so good.
Yes.
Like that just wrapped up. Every episode was a banger.
So well.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And it's the ending. Like, one is... I mean, I guess, like I said, it shows they don't mess around because, like, yeah, this wasn't what I was trying to talk about, but it is something I want to talk about. Like, we lost both. I mean, he comes back. G.I. Robot was brought back.
Yeah.
He was a robot. But Nina, I was not expecting.
Yeah.
They never tell us why Nina's locked up. Like, we got kind of like everybody's backstory.
Well, because she was just a creature.
Caught.
They just caught her
because they never talked to her or asked why she locked up. Like, she
didn't do anything bad. She didn't do anything
the
wrong.
rest of the Creature Commandos are all killers, or at least believed to be killers. Like, even Weasel, even though Free Weasel, he's still Free Weasel, Justice for Weasel and stuff. But all the rest of the Creature Commandos are all killers for different reasons. I mean, Dr. Phosphorus, we saw was a decent guy and stuff. But
until he became a
I know. I'm saying he was a decent guy until basically what causes. But like Nina, I thought when they showed Nina's dad died, which that cop, I'm like, why did he shoot him? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, when they showed Nina's dad die, I was just like, oh, and then Nina freaks out and attacks people. And nope. They just put her in some water and took her away. And I'm like, so she's just because? Just like what? Why? Like, this is the DC universe. There are literally there are god beings and aliens and all sorts of craziness running around. Why lock up the fist chick for nothing?
Because she's a freak. Because she's a monster.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying. There's lots of...
That's the tragedy.
What about the Martian Manhunter? He's out there running around. No one's
That's
locking
him
up.
Yeah. I mean, because how can you?
True. He just has, what you going to do? Just going to phase through the wall and leave? I don't know. You put him in like a burning a box surrounded by fire. There you go. But anyways, So yeah, a little bit of DC kick. Watching Justice League. It's one of the things that I think is interesting is because I just seeing like how the difference between not that I'm a big into comics right now, I'm mainly just reading Batman and stuff, but I was reading some Superman stuff, and it's just like the TV Justice League cartoon Superman is so underpowered compared to comic book Superman.
Well, until he's not.
And same
until
like
he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same like the Green Lanterns are like, they play, or even in the Justice League, I love the Flash is kind of in there as comic relief. They use them for a lot of butt jokes and stuff. And I'm just like, do you not get how insanely powerful the Flash is? Like, he's the butt of jokes, and I'm just like, this man is literally, like, on all honesty, he may even rival Superman with the amount of stuff he can do.
No, I love, like, there's, like, a comic book. So, like, in the Justice League, they have them race around the world.
Yep.
And they're, like, neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, like, a comic book panel where
I love
like,
that panel so much.
Superman is chasing the Flash, and Superman's like, come on. You know, I'm just as fast as you. And then the Flash is like, that was for charity.
Yeah, he's
and
like,
then he just zooms away.
And it's just like, bam, he's just gone. I was like, I always love that panel because I always was so frustrated that Superman got to be as fast as Flash when I watched that cartoon. I'm just like, why? The Flash, his power is super speed. Yeah. Superman has everything. And so, I always love that comic book panel because it's just like, yes. Yes. Vindication, where he's just like, dude, I was letting you keep up. But anyway, so watching some Justice League, watching some old Rick and Morty, some season 1 through 4, the good stuff in there. Watching a little show, I think I've talked about it before, but that I like. It's called Frisky Dingo.
Don't know it.
Yeah, it's a absurd one, but it's from the early days of Adult Swim. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's from the people who make the show Archer, which you never watched that either. But same art style, but definitely more absurd than Archer was. Just enjoying some
old stuff.
Some old stuff from my childhood and from my earlier days.
Supernatural.
I did watch some Supernatural this week.
Excellent. You're into season 4?
I am into season 5.
Oh, season 5. Okay, so you're in it
5.
now.
I am in it now.
It has picked up? Yes. Would you agree with me that like season 4 is really when it?
Yes. I was enjoying season 1 through 3, but I also, now that I'm into season 4, I can understand where you now in many rewatches would see those seasons, and because there's a quality shift. There's a quality shift in season 4. And so it's like,
well, you really it really like roots takes root. Like before, it's kind of very episodic. There's a little bit of like kind of a bigger story going on. But
it's
before
very
is when you're like, okay, now we're really like got traction.
Yes. But I'm on season 5, episode 7. Yeah, 7.
Excellent. Yeah.
I'm making my way. I'm still daunted by the fact that there's 10 more seasons.
11. 15 seasons.
Well, I'm in 5, so there's 10 more seasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, I thought you were saying there were 16.
I don't know why I'm thinking. I don't know. I can't do math.
But I am enjoying it and stuff, and I'm making my way through. But there is still a part of me that's like, will I finish this before I get another job? Anyways, that's what I got. So tell me about this golf anime, because that's what I'm assuming.
Before I do that, I'm gonna. So I did watch a new anime this week.
Yep.
But before that, I'm gonna pull an old one from my list.
Okay.
One called Dead Mount Death Play. That's a word salad.
What? Some of these animes just have so much into their name. They can't just be called like Speed. It's got to be like.
I mean, there is an anime out there called Speed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But Dead Mount Death Play. This is a rare reverse isekai. So this is somebody from a fantasy world going into the modern
normal world.
Okay. Like Earth world. Yeah.
Kind of like, so that reverse isekai, that was the same as that one, I can't remember what it was called, but where the dude was like the all-powerful necromancer.
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, have we not talked about this one?
No, we've not talked about this one. I showed it to you, but I haven't talked. Maybe
I
did, but it's on my list. One? Yeah. No, we're talking about it now.
Very unique.
Yeah. So it starts out with it's very deceptive in the first few minutes. It starts out with like a hero fighting this giant skeletal demon monstrosity.
Yes.
And wins.
But
and just
the way it's shot, you don't know he won.
Yeah, you think that like the main character, if you're like into isekai and watching these kind of things, you think that like this hero is the main character.
And now he's in the real world.
Yeah. But no, it's just before the demon lord dies. he reincarnates himself. He transfers his soul somewhere else.
Yes.
And just when in the modern Tokyo world, a kid is killed, his throat is slit, and the soul of this demon lord character enters it and revives him. Yeah. The whole time, the whole show, he's got like a slit throat because he's just keeping this body alive. It is really deep and awesome and fantastic and funny.
Yes.
And it's just, it's this demon lord like
very quirky characters.
Trying to learn what's going on. This is like he's used to a world of magic, but there's no magic here, but he can feed magic from the souls of the dead. And there's just a bunch of really great characters. Like he has all these powers, which the world is not ready for all these powers. And there's like a psychotic assassin that is super hilarious.
He is so bizarre.
So much fun. She kills this kid and thinks that like the job is done, and she's just like in the first episode she's like, well, you know what? I've killed a lot of people. You know I've never killed before? Myself. And she starts to jump off a building, and then she gets a phone call and be like, the job's not done. And so she goes to look for this kid again, and it's just like, hey, you know what we should do with the psychotic assassin? Let's make her an immortal zombie, and then give her vampire powers.
Oh, so
and
like vampire powers.
Oh yeah, it gets wild. It gets real wild. There's like another character whose entire existence seems to revolve around sharks. Like, I did show you that thing where she's just like, "Oh, tell me something about sharks." She just like, I mean, I have to trust you. You love sharks just as much as I do. You didn't say anything. You said good things about sharks. Like, it's just really funny. But it's also got like a deeper side to it because you start to be like, okay, this demon lord, evil, big bad, maybe there was some extenuating circumstances and whatnot. And there's only one season. I don't think we're going to get a second season. But the thing that I've had to learn through this anime experience is you've got to enjoy the journey, even if there's not going to be an end. Sometimes an unfinished season, you just got to embrace it for what it is and just wrap yourself in that blanket, realizing you may not get to have a full night's sleep. And that's just the way it is. Anyway, nice. Dead Mount Death Play, super fun, super interesting, different take on the isekai genre, playing around with it. And the way it's executed is very fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
super good. And I did watch a new anime this week called Rising Impact. There are 2 seasons right now. I believe there's a 3rd season coming. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix has been banging with the anime lately. I don't know what they're doing. They got Overlord on there. They got all sorts of stuff. Like,
I say one of my best dubs comes from Netflix anime.
Oh yeah, really good stuff. Oh yeah. Wait, was that anime? Was that Netflix or was that Max?
That's Netflix.
You're talking about Dan to Dan, right? Yeah.
Dan to Dan's with Netflix.
That was Netflix. Okay. I mean, it's on my list too. You know, we'll get there. Yeah. It is a sports show, basically. Which, we all love here at the Watchin Podcast. We love ourselves a good sports drama thing.
Yeah.
It is about a kid who lives in rural Japan.
Okay.
And he plays baseball with his friends. I mean, not like official baseball.
Yeah.
They just like, hey, somebody's got a bat and somebody's got a ball.
Yeah, you get together with the kid.
Yeah, there's no field. Yeah. They're just whatever. And he's really good at hitting the ball far, and he's just like, yes, I want to be able to hit the ball the farthest. And this lady who's like kind of lost, looking for like a hot spring or something, is like, oh, you want to hit a ball far? Why don't you try golf? And he's like, he's never heard of golf or anything like that. And she introduces him to a golf club and a ball, to a driver, and teaches him how to swing the driver.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a Happy Gilmore situation.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's going around along those lines.
Yeah, so this kid has been like living in rural. I mean, he's like a little kid, like maybe like I think he's 12 or something like that. He has been like just chopping trees like Paul Bunyan and like living on this mountain, like gathering food and running around and all this stuff. Like he's jacked.
Yeah.
Right. And he like takes a swing and he shoots the ball like 600 yards or something like that. Like just ridiculous.
Right.
And he gets addicted. He's like, oh, I got to make the ball go far. Like, that's all. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, I want to shoot the ball the farthest.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can do that with a driver and a golf ball. And he starts practicing, but he's like, you know, trapped in this rural place. He ends up getting his grandfather, who he's living with, his parents are long gone, dead.
Yep.
And he gets the, well, maybe. Anyway, he's living with his grandpa. The parents are out of the picture.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Anyway, he ends up going to Tokyo to live with this lady who introduced him to golf. She's a pro golf player. Anyway, so he goes into Tokyo to live with her and learn how to play golf. Goes to the driving range, starts to get like training from her. Ends up immediately getting scouted by this like elite golfing school. It's all a little ridiculous. It's like the golf courses that he plays on are like made out of some sort of nightmare putt. Like, never in the history of the world would there ever be a golf course that would be designed this way.
More Mario golf than real golf.
Yeah. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous concepts. And it's all, you know, overly dramatically animated and whatnot. But he's got a power. He's got a superpower, which is called rising impact, where every time that he swings a driver, he can hit the ball precisely in the center of the driver face.
Okay.
Right. And that's how he's not only is he just, you know, strong from, you know, living healthy life in the woods.
Yeah.
But he just has this amazing talent for, you know, accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
He can hit the ball straight and as far as he wants every time. But he doesn't know anything about putting. He doesn't know anything about the about the approaching shots and stuff like that. So they got to teach him how to do that and whatnot. And there's a whole cast of characters that are all he's competing with. One of them has like another superpower, which is I think called Golden Line or something like that, which is basically like he can see the exact like trajectory for a putt. And so like every time he putts, even if it's from like 70 yards away, he'll always make it.
Nice.
And there's just a lot. It's fun. It's just fun. Sports, drama kind of stuff of him just wanting to, just giving it his all. Mm-hmm. And, you know, competing with other people who want to give it their all. And yeah, just fun.
Nice.
Just fun stuff. There's 2 seasons. I think, like I said, I think there's a 3rd coming out. Super excited for it.
Awesome.
I mean, who doesn't love a good sports?
Who doesn't?
Drama.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And always been down for a good sports movie or that sort of thing. You know, you just If you want to just feel good and just get riled, just like inspirational. Like,
yeah. All right, well, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Again, check out our website, watchinitpod.com. If you like any other sports shows or movies or dramas, please feel free to write us. watchinitpodcast@gmail.com. Donnell. Take it away.
So if you have any of those ideas, because we're always looking for other stuff to cover, and it's been a minute since we've covered a sports movie on this podcast. So,
have we ever covered a sports
Remember the
movie?
Titans.
We did not cover Remember the Titans.
Yeah, we did.
We absolutely did not
I'm pretty
cover.
sure we did.
We absolutely did not.
Or did we just talk about it?
We've talked about it.
We just reviewed it. Maybe. Okay.
That's the one with Keanu Reeves, right?
No, not Keanu Reeves.
What is the Keanu Reeves
Washington one? Keanu Reeves.
No, that's not the other guys. The Replacements.
The Replacements?
You never seen The Replacements?
I may have seen
with Keanu Reeves.
I can't remember.
Gene Hackman.
Okay, that sounded a little bit more familiar. Keanu Reeves.
Like the big sumo guy.
Yeah.
John Favreau.
Okay, yeah.
Is like the big muscle head.
Yeah, I have seen The Replacements.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while though, but anyways, well, maybe then give us our first sports movie to cover on this podcast. If you got
not Rudy.
Idea. No,
not Rudy.
No, I'm not touching Rudy with a 10-foot.
But I will, if you write us and you want to know why I say not Rudy, I will give you a 30-minute dissertation on why Rudy is the worst sports movie in the history of mankind, because it's not a fucking sports movie.
I was about to say, I used to watch there was this website Cracked, and they had this skit thing they do called After Hours, and they actually go into Rudy and how much it's not a sports movie.
It's not.
And how it's just like a terrible reflection of like, oh, we put him in for.
Yeah. No. It's about a kid who has a crappy dad who won't love him unless he plays football.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going through his whole life. He's making good moves, moving forward, having opportunities that like 99% of the population doesn't get.
but you ain't playing football.
And he's like, none of it matters unless I get to be in the game because my dad won't love me because he's got a crappy dad.
Anyways, that's just a little snippet of what you could get if you hit up Robert about Rudy. And anyways, give us any range reviews, 5 stars. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.